What's going on, family? I'm Robert Ballard.
I'm Jamila Ballard.
And we are the Ballards. Welcome to our morning coffee talk show. We are super excited to be here with you one more morning. How you feeling?
Why we always super excited?
Because I'm always pumped up and amped up. Because that's what I do. My bad.
Okay. What we doing?
What we doing today? What we talking about today?
I don't know.
Listen, today we're gonna do a hot topic by one of our power couple friends. Mm-hmm. Today we're gonna be talking about co-parenting with exes,
which is stupid. Because if you could parent with these fools,
you would still be.
They wouldn't be exes, would they? That chick.
I know, but my wife and I, we're very extreme.
We all the way to the left?
Yeah, we're all the way to the right.
right.
So we're very extreme in our methods. And so I guess we could jump in. So when it comes to exes or people that we've dated in the past, we kind of just shut it down unequivocally. It's just a wrap.
I don't play like that.
And so let's bridge into the topic with parenting with exes, okay?
Okay.
So what I really wanted to say is when you have to co-parent with the idiot. That's what I really wanted to say. When you have to co-parent with the idiot. I was very fortunate and I was very blessed. I'm sure somebody not gonna like that one, but I was very fortunate that by the time my ex and I were separated and divorced, my kids were teenagers.
Everybody was over 18, right? Or
no, but they were
two of them were close to 18.
Close to 18. Mm-hmm. And so at that point...
The others were in 20, and over 20,
well,
right?
It was...
or close?
It was like 15 to about...
Well, they weren't babies.
They weren't babies, right.
They weren't little.
So once we went our separate ways, I didn't have to reach out to her. And we were talking earlier. I remember one time... after we had separated, I wanted to go and pick up two of my daughters for lunch just to hang out. And I was on my way. I was about 2 minutes away from the house. And I get this phone call. And she was like, the girls don't want to go out with you. I said, what? They're uncomfortable. They don't understand everything. And this is me, because I know I'm extreme, babe. And so I'm like, okay, no problem. I left it alone. And from that point on, I don't think I talked to my daughters for about 6 or 7 months because they didn't have phones for me to reach out to them. As a matter of fact, they did have phones. They had phones that I was paying for. In the middle of everything, she switched the phones. She got the new phones in their own names, and I didn't have anybody's number. I'm extreme. I believe that my time will come when my kids will reach out to me, so that's what I did. I waited. I ain't going to be calling because you're my ex now. So to me, Robert Ballard, I have no communication with you unless my kids are injured or what, and that wasn't the case. Mm-hmm. So I'm extreme in that sense. And so for me personally, when it comes to co-parenting, for me, I don't know what that's about until my beautiful wife and I got married. Now I have a whole new set of rules for co-parenting. What do you feel about co-parenting with?
I don't even know where to start. But let me just reiterate. If it was possible to co-parent with these ding-dongs, they wouldn't be exes. We would be parenting.
Correct.
We would be two mature adults raising the children that we created. Together.
Correct.
That is when co-parenting works.
Correct.
Now, once there's been a split, that means none of that stuff is working.
Correct. God bless her. God bless all.
So every once in a blue moon, it works for somebody like Jada Pinkett and Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I applaud them. It's amazing to me every time
God bless y'all because honestly, God bless y'all. But
I would love to have not exactly what they have because I don't want him in my. I don't want to see him like that. But
what I would like
that type of respect.
Respect. Correct.
Yes.
Correct. I would love every kind of
where
respect.
that is your mother. She's raised you. We honor that, and the child has that example. Mm-hmm. I would love to have that type of, I would love to know that when my child is away from me and with him, that he parents
the same way you
responsibly.
Do. Right, correct. And we know that's
which
not
is basically the way I do.
correct. Right.
You
right.
know, I'm very protective,
Right.
and I've always been very protective.
You are very protective.
Of all my kids. So I honestly, in some ways, I've been very much like a father, just in a woman's body, and very nurturing and motherly at the same time.
And so I got to take a moment and shout out to all the women, to my queen. Thank you for being a phenomenal mother. Thank you for taking care of your kids to the best of your ability. And so together, thank you to all the women that have had to play the role of a father and a mother. And so as a man, I'm always aware of it. That's why I try my best to spoil you as much as I can possibly do, because I see you put a lot of hard work in. And at the latter half of this part of your life, I want the shit just to be easy, period.
I didn't realize how hard I worked until you and I got together, and suddenly I had a real partner every single day, because my load just got a lot lighter. And the thing is, when you're carrying a load on your back and on your shoulders every single day, and it goes on for years and years and years, you just don't know anything different. You really don't realize how much you're doing. You really don't.
Right.
And now when I look back, I'm like, how could I have done? How? And I can only give God credit for that.
Amen.
Because I should have fallen apart. I should have started drinking. I should have resorted to something crazy. So a little sidebar real quick. When the majority of the parenting and raising of the children falls on one person,
Right.
which happens a lot. I
does.
know that's happened to a lot of you out there. What happens is, as a woman, you start to develop this tough skin, this thick skin, this like sort of like a protective shell that's like this kind of defensive wall, or I don't know, I'm not sure what to call it. But I realized that once you and I started to once you and I were in the same household, and you were really helping me and doing so much of all of the things that I used to only do by myself, then I realized that, okay, so that makes it hard for women in relationships. When you get into a relationship, it's like, okay, now your whole role changes. Everything that you've been and everything that you're accustomed to,
right? It changes.
It totally changes now.
Change.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because we when we first got together, I saw you fighting to let go. And at the same time, I was fighting to take over.
And I didn't trust anybody.
I'm sure you didn't.
I didn't trust nobody with my family.
I'm sure you didn't. You had young women. You had young men in your home. You know, it was fun.
Oh, you talking about my kids?
Yeah.
Okay, clarify that, babe. I'm
I'm sorry.
what young women did I have in my house?
And so it was scary. So there was a lot of adjusting. I remember watching you fight to let go, though. And let me not control, but take control in terms of allowing me to be the man that God created me to be. And you've done that.
Well, it changes the whole dynamic of the family, you know, because all of a sudden there's this person filling a role that was never, you know, obviously it was me and it was the kids. Now all of a sudden it's me and the kids, and mommy has a husband.
You know, we don't.
And we have a father figure, even though he's not our father.
Exactly.
So it changes everything.
It changes everything.
Now, you know, I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
No, go ahead, babe. So, in terms of the role of co-parenting, I just want to say this, that at the end of the day, you just have to do your best. Because my wife and I, we are very extreme. My wife, when it comes to her daughters, she never wanted her daughters to wear mini skirts, expose their bodies to the public, because she was a young lady and she knew what she encountered. And so the funny thing is that when the other parent doesn't have your standards, now everybody's subject to BS. And so we I mean,
let's give some examples so everybody knows what we're talking about. So, for example, you know, he had visitation with his dad, and so my other son, who I think was 16 at the time, says to me, "Oh, Christian's getting ready to go to his friend's house, and it's 8:30 at night," and I'm like,
8:30 at night.
First of all, Christian goes to bed at 8:30,
Yeah,
and I totally understand. Like, okay, so maybe he might put in the bed a little later. That's not a huge issue for me, but why? Christian actually was 8. He was 8 at the time, or 7, and to me, that's just so wrong. That's so wrong to be dressing a child that young to leave the house at 8:30 to go spend the night at somebody's house. And the mother doesn't know who the person is. And, you know, there's a lot going on nowadays, and a lot of children, if you ever look at the statistics on children being abused, then I don't really understand any parent who really loves their child sending them somewhere overnight unnecessarily. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm quite sure a lot of people will disagree with me, but I'm raising that child. God put him in my hands.
That's it. But hold on, baby.
But
hold
on. So I even said, can you send his older brother, with him?
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, no, he would not do it.
Yeah, no,
now, why, as a parent, you would not take that extra step to protect him? And it's easy. I'll never understand that.
And that's the conversation.
And then hung up the phone on me, as if I didn't have a right to say whether or not my young child should be out the house.
Right. And so I just need to add to that scenario, because I know I'm a little hyper, and so when my wife gets upset, I'm probably overprotective of
He gets more upset than
oh my God. So, dude, my man,
if something bothers me, he's already up
I'm like,
here.
because everything in my life I'm doing is to make sure her life is just calm and peaceful. Like, I want her to be in a meditation position all day long. That's how calm I want her life.
And everything
to be.
else is very.
It is.
It's very peaceful.
But you know, but again, we're talking about co-parenting. At the end of the day, you have to have your set of rules in your house, and when they go to the other house, it's gonna be what's gonna be. You gotta pray to God, like, look, God, Lord, keep my child safe, and that's something.
Exactly.
And honestly, that's babe. Until our marriage, that's something I had to learn, because I've always been this guy who was overprotective, and now I'm like, and so now, even now, when Christian has to go, you know, and spend time with, you know, the other family members, I know the standards we have in this house. In this house, we're go-getters. In this house, we're building.
It's about discipline. It's about respect.
Right. Because I want to see young black men to grow up to be older black men handling their business.
And we understand it starts at home.
So we don't
take these things lightly.
Exactly. So in terms of co-parenting, honey, would you agree that it's like you got to have your rules in your house?
Yeah.
And I had to learn just to let go when they go somewhere else. Because you can't fight them, because that's their home.
But can I say this? Well, I have 2 points, and I think a lot of people will be able to relate to this because of the women that have reached out to me that have had this issue, the same issue. It is the hardest thing in the world to know that someone was so damaging to you and to your children, to all of your family's lives, the people who are nearest and dearest to your heart.
Right.
And now you have to hand over your most precious, not possession, you know, but what's most precious to you and most valuable to you, to the person that you... Okay, so let's just be real. Let's just be honest, okay? Because a lot of times the truth is ugly. Okay, that's life. You know, it's like if a woman is screaming in the street and she's bleeding, are you going to call 911 and say, the lady looks very unhappy? No, sometimes you really got to just be truthful and just say what it is. Right. So what was hard for me, it was a big adjustment for me at first after I, you know, moving on, have a new life now, have a new husband, which is really the first and only real husband that I've ever actually had. second marriage certificate, but the first husband.
She turns me on when she talks like that. Go ahead, bro.
So anyway, what I had to adjust to was the person who did the most damage to me and to my children. And yes, I take responsibility because I chose him because I was young and stupid. Because I was young and stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But the person that did the most damage to me and to my children, I now have to take my only child, the only child that's still in my home that I'm raising, who is my heart, and I have to hand him over to the person who betrayed my trust.
I never thought about that.
Who just, I could go on and on and on and on. And the whole reason why you leave this person is because you don't want to be damaged anymore. So you feel like, I'm saving myself. I have to get away from this person. And now I have to hand the most precious person in the world to me, next to my husband, over to him. And if I did not have the relationship that I have with God, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And yes, I 100% believe a child has a right to know his father. Yes, I 100% believe that. The other side of the coin is, when we're talking about a certain type of relationship, an abusive relationship, that's hard as hell for a woman to say, you leave that behind you and it's over and that chapter is closed and it's your past and you're no longer that woman anymore and everything is different. But now I'm still connected to that because of my child. And I love him dearly, more than I can express.
Right, baby. Right.
So, every time somebody has inboxed me, women, and it's been women, to say, that's hard for them because they know the father has not been a good example because of the life that he's living, because of the choices that he's made. I, as a woman, really can, I can relate to that. I can really, really relate to that. And sometimes I don't know that women, I don't know if they know how much I can relate to that. The other thing that's hard is, like I said, it's over with that person. It's totally over.
That's what I'm saying.
Totally over.
That's what I'm saying.
But you still got to deal with them.
Yeah. You got an attachment.
You still have to deal with the fact that when I was 20 years old, I discovered sexuality, was messing around with somebody irresponsibly, thought I was going to dismiss him in 2 weeks because he was a game to me. And now I still got to deal with him because I have. It's a reality.
And that's something that young women.
That's real life.
That's something that young women don't take into consideration.
And that's what I want young women to know.
And honestly, both of us, by the time,
and young men,
babe, exactly, and young men, fellas. By the time I was 24 years old, I had 4 kids. My bad. By the time I was 24 years old, I had 4 kids. And so from 19 to 30 something, I was just doing my best. I was a kid to raise kids, because you make these, you horny. That's what it is. You horny. You want to get some, and then you wind up getting somebody pregnant. And you fellas, shout out to my brothers. I love y'all. But y'all know sometimes we get a little slow. And so we wind up getting this young lady pregnant and then being committed to her in some way, shape, or form for the next 18 years. This is a conversation to be had. So we talk about co-parenting.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing. Because this is the last person on the planet that you want to talk to, and you have no choice.
Most of us knew when we were teenagers, I'll say is, I knew at a very early age I shouldn't have made the decision that I made. But I was immature. So I made an immature decision to go ahead, get married. I got married when I was 20 years old. I was a kid myself. I didn't know what marriage was. I had no clue what it was.
Yeah, I just want to point out that these are very, very valuable lessons. And we've gained a whole heap of wisdom because of these bad choices. And it's only by the grace of God that we recovered from these choices, and that we love our kids, despite whatever relationship we had with the exes. But we don't share these stories, we don't share our lives to bash anybody.
Absolutely not.
It is to put a very real picture up
of
and
life.
Say,
me too.
Me too.
Me too.
And if you can avoid this, do yourself a favor. Yeah. Exercise a little self-control. Use some good sense. If that doesn't work, just do whatever mommy and daddy said. Just do whatever they said. My mother tried to warn me. She really did try to warn me. And when you get to be like 40, then you go, she was right. She was right.
She was right. You get to that point and you say she was right. Listen, to all of my young brothers out there, if you don't have a father, let me be your father for a minute. The sex, it feels amazing. But the responsibility that comes along with the sex, you got to consider. Nobody told me that. You got to consider the responsibility that comes along with this sex. That's just what it is.
It wasn't amazing with her.
Oh, no.
Okay, wait, don't say nothing. Don't even answer that. I'm sorry.
But at that point, you don't know any better. Babe, our sex is amazing.
Okay, honey.
Okay, my bad. That's why she got that little.
That's what I get for going there.
That's what she got.
Okay, so anyway, honey.
It's when we talk about co-parenting. Listen,
how you politely tell your husband to shut up. Anyway, honey.
At the end of the day, you gotta establish the rules in your house, enforce the rules in your house, but you can't deal with nobody else in their own home. It just is what it is. No matter how much you beg and try and cry.
So we don't really have, I've heard a lot of people talk about all these conversations where they're going back and forth with their ex, and the ex said this and that and the other. Do your absolute best to just restrain yourself as an adult. And they're going to say some stupid things. They're going to text some stupid messages. Just go, would you look at this?
Would you look at this?
Just look at each other, laugh about it. Don't let anything come between you. Right. That's the main thing. We decided that.
You got to realize they're your ex, so they know how to push your buttons because they pissed you off a lot. And they're going to keep pushing the buttons to keep. Listen, babe, I said this a long time ago. The thing that you have to be careful about with exes is they know how to keep your heart entangled.
I guess.
They'll use your kids to keep your heart entangled. I can't stand my ex. But they'll piss you off enough to, with your kids so that you respond to them. Because at the end of the day, everybody don't want love. They want a response.
Some people, Some people just any type of
they
attention.
They get attention.
They're happy.
They're happy.
And they can never get enough.
Thank you.
Even if it's being called a
jackass.
I was going to say jack behind.
No, jackass.
Even if it's being hung up on, even if it's being told off, they
cursed
happy
out,
they got something. They got
Listen,
something out of you.
Some of you ladies cursing your ex out on the phone, he hanging up talking about, I got that. I got her again.
He's saying that. Still want me.
Yeah, exactly. She still want me.
You know what he got? What he get out of me for years?
Nothing.
Not a
Nothing.
word.
Not a word.
He didn't hear my voice.
Not a word. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
Share this real quick story, without putting too much of our business out there.
Oh Lord. You gonna put? No, go ahead.
Not too much, honey.
Okay.
So, in terms of, we're talking about co-parenting with exes and so forth and so on. So there was an incident a couple of years ago. Okay, you mind me sharing?
Why do judges say that?
What?
They're like, you go to court and they're like, you too.
Yo, judges are the worst when it comes to this co-parenting thing. Go ahead.
Why do they use that word co-parent? Do they realize these are two people that left each other because they couldn't work together?
True.
Whether you want to blame both people or one person, the woman or the man, it doesn't matter. They couldn't work together. Now you expect them to co-parent. No.
I had to learn. Look, y'all.
It's crazy.
I had to learn because, again, I'm a Leo. I'm very extreme. And I love this woman right here. So when something bothers her, it probably bothers me more than it bothers her.
It does. Because I'll be over it. He's still upset.
Yeah, I'm still mad. So in the beginning of this co-parenting thing, again, because I'm kind of a control freak, I had to learn to let go. And so there was an incident where her ex was in town and he pulled the kids out of school without letting her know. Right?
I didn't even know he was in town.
We know he's in town. Mind you, he's from
him and his girlfriend.
Yeah, he's from a
briefcases.
He's from a completely different state, right? So, because we're very regimented, the kids were not home when they were supposed to be, and I'm probably going to paraphrase a little bit. She called me and they said the kids wasn't home, right? Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
And
they were like probably like 15 minutes.
They were like
late.
15 minutes late.
I knew something wasn't right.
That's how detailed the Ballard household is. The Ballard household is because they're 15 minutes late, and she was like, "This."
But babe, I've always been like that. Even way before I knew, you know.
Before you were Ballard.
To me, no, honey. To me, you were always my husband. You know. No, seriously. I can't explain that, but yeah, so I always was like that.
Okay, so they were late.
But yeah.
And this flag went off on her head. I don't remember the detail, but then something happened where she wind up. You got a phone call?
Hold on, honey bun. You're going too fast, babe. So they were 15 minutes late. Mm-hmm. I knew something was wrong. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any other, I didn't have any other drama in my life or any craziness in my life and no crazy relationships. And my kids don't go off with people. And my kids know you come straight home. You meet up with each other and you come straight home together. Mm-hmm. So for my kids to not be home on time and I haven't heard from anybody, I knew something was wrong. I knew if something was wrong, he was behind it. He had to be behind it. Okay. So I called because there's nobody else. Right. So I called his phone, and he's like, I just dropped the kids off at home. So I'm around the corner. He didn't know where I was. I got home fast. I got home probably within like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, yeah, you did. I get upstairs. The kids are not there. I call them again. And I'm telling you, Holy Spirit is real. Because what came out of my mouth was not what I wanted to come. What I wanted to come out of my mouth. You better start. You have my. Bleep. So yeah, I can't even say any of that. I can't say any of it. I can't. So anyway, so then he changes the story to, they're with me. I have them. I'm gonna drop them off. So where are you? Where are you? No. Where are you? He can't tell me. He can't tell me where they are. Right. So then I think I had called you at that point. Probably the police.
See, the details get fuzzy in my head because I get pissed off and I can't remember nothing. Go ahead, babe.
But don't have everybody else like. Okay, anyway. So, then I called him back because after I called you and was like, I was up here, I was pissed, and he's not telling me where he is. Then I ended up calling him back after I called you. Okay, I called you, then called the police.
Because now I'm bugging.
Okay? So then called him back. Where are you?
Right, because now I'm bugging.
I'm at McDonald's. He doesn't know which McDonald's he's at. He just has no clue. He can't look outside. He can't see a sign. He can't ask anybody in McDonald's. He doesn't have location on his phone, nothing. There's no way possible for him to know where he is. I don't even know how he got to McDonald's, babe. He must have did like that Star Trek thing and beamed himself over to McDonald's.
People like this. He did that. He did that, babe.
Maybe there was one of them Google cars that just drove them to McDonald's, said, I'm taking you to McDonald's whether you want to go or not.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, you don't tell a mother that you don't. First of all, you don't lie about where my kids are.
Yep.
Picked up my kids without my permission, without me having any knowledge that he was in town and that he picked up my kids. Certainly without my permission. And then on top of that, lie to me about where they are. Say that you dropped them off at home. Like, that's why I say Holy Spirit is real. Because when I saw him, I didn't kill him. What else you want me to say, babe? Sure. What else you want me to say, honey? That thing is in the wrong place? It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
Y'all.
It's okay. It's the morning. All right, honey. Stick to the story. Stop getting distracted, babe.
Okay.
Come back.
I'm sorry. I got a little distracted because our set was out of place.
Honey.
Okay, my bad. So anyway.
I keep him focused. Like, that's my job.
Hey, you're supposed to keep me focused.
Yes, babe. It's a full-time job.
That's why God gave you to me. So Okay, so what I wanted to share in that whole story was, she calls me. I work about 40 minutes away, and so by this time, she called the police. An Amber Alert was issued.
And how do you co-parent with somebody else? No respect whatsoever. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Was the Amber
That's
Alert
not somebody you
issued,
can
or was it about
co-parent
to be-
with.
the
No,
Amber-
they did. They did issue the Amber
Okay,
Alert.
Amber Alert was
They
issued.
already asked me what the children were wearing.
And so, shout out to all my Leos out there. So y'all know at this point, you like all my brothers, you already bugging. So I got a 45-minute drive. I was calm. I was peaceful. I had my gospel music playing.
But you did not have gospel music playing.
Okay, in my head I did.
Stop telling
And
stories.
so I was calm, and so I got to the corner where we turn onto our block. I turn the car to our block. I still see the police car there. I see this out-of-state license plate there, and my mind just starts spazzing. I don't know if I wound up. I pressed the brake. I threw the car in park.
But mind you, I already told the police because by the time you got there, because you work so far away,
Right.
by the time you got there, the police had already contacted him and told him, sir, you need to bring the kids back.
Right.
So he got there and dropped off the kids minutes,
Before I got there.
probably about 15 minutes before you got there. And so I remember the police saying to me, the police talked to them, talked to me, and obviously, so the kids were home, they're safe with me. And he picked up 2 of them. He didn't get
3, right.
my daughter.
Right.
So, okay, so, and anyway, one of my kids said, mommy's gonna have a fit. You need to call mommy. But his girlfriend said, you need to call her. You know, stupid girlfriend. Anyway, she's a winner. She's a keeper. So anyway, yeah, get your man arrested, ding dong, for kidnapping. And he just listened. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back.
See, we
So
still.
anyway.
See, this really
I would
affected us.
not put my husband in a position where he could get kidnapped. I mean, arrested for and have kidnapping charges. Like, duh.
Right.
Come
Right,
on,
right.
exes. Jeez, like, come on. She trying to. Okay, I'm done. So anyway, so he brought the kids back. The police officer says to me, ma'am, is everything, so you're good now? You know, we're going to go ahead and leave. Do you need anything else? And so I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then a light bulb went off. It's like, my husband's about to pull up any minute. He's still sitting there in the car with his girlfriend. I was like, officer, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet, because it may be a whole other situation. This is what I'm thinking. I didn't say this part. I didn't say this part to the police officer. But I didn't want to have a whole other situation and have to call the police again. Right. And like, if my husband has a beef, then both of us going, like, both of us gonna do some damage.
Bonnie and Clyde, baby.
Both of us gonna do some damage. Like, no. So anyway, all these things went through my mind, and I'm like, okay, officer, I need you to stay until my husband gets here. So go ahead, honey. You can pick up.
So
now you pull up.
I was calm.
So now you pull up.
I was calm. I turned the corner, and all that.
We ain't proud of this foolishness,
Yeah,
by
I'm
the
not proud
way.
of it. I'm just telling a story.
This is just what happens when you hook up with a ding dong
Because
and you're 20
we're talking
years
about
old.
co-parenting. I turned the corner. I threw the current drive. I slammed the car. I slammed the brakes on. I jumped out. I dropped my phone.
But he's not proud of it.
No, I'm not proud of it. I smashed my phone on the ground, and I just went black. My only thing was I was about to run to the car, and literally I saw nothing. So all I see is this little beautiful chocolate doll.
In slow motion.
In slow motion.
I ran to him.
Running to me.
And I said, no, honey.
No, baby. And she was like, Robert.
I didn't say, I just put my arms around
Yeah,
him.
she did. Yeah, I'm sorry. She did.
I just held him real close
Right.
because I knew he wasn't going to hurt me.
Right. I'm not. Oh, I was not gonna hurt
Yeah.
you. Crazy. And so, but I'm still seeing red.
I knew that was the only thing that was going to calm you
After
down.
I saw her, the next thing I saw, because this all happened real fast, I saw the cop saying, "Sir, calm down," with his hand on his gun.
Yeah.
Just like that. Sir, because he didn't know. I jumped out the car. I could have jumped out the car with anything. And I'm like, it was in that, everything happened so fast, but it was that moment.
He just saw an angry black man.
I just saw an angry black man. And my wife, she put her arms around me, and I just kind of,
And he was like, okay. Because I was like, honey, don't do anything. And he's like, Okay.
Shout out to Elizabeth, New Jersey. Y'all got to remember, I'm not ghetto. I'm no thug.
Babe, this is not making you look very
I'm no gangster. I just want to protect my wife. That's it. And so, contrary to popular opinion, shout out to all
No, he's not. None of those things.
I just want to protect my wife. That's it. So shout out to all the men who just want to protect their
He
wives.
really is.
I am from Elizabeth, New Jersey. So shout out to my hometown, Elizabeth, New Jersey, where we're filming this right here. That's what we do. I ain't proud of it, y'all.
So what's the moral of the story?
There was no moral of the story.
The moral of the story to
is
me
that you can't co-parent with idiots.
How do you co-parent with someone who thinks I'm just gonna take the kids out of school without purpose? And even everybody at the school, because he went to 2 schools. Right. Even everybody at the school was saying, "Sir, we cannot release the kids to you." So he waited and waited and waited till they got dismissed.
Right. I'm not calling him
with his ridiculous plan.
Because I don't want somebody to take all my millions. They can't take my millions. I don't know about it. I got millions. All I'm saying is,
what are you talking about?
We're talking about co-parenting, right? All you can do is do the best in your own household. The other household, and then you can do it. You just got to adjust your attitude. That's it.
And we all, look, it's not just us, babe.
It ain't just us.
But things did calm down since then.
Things have changed.
They did calm down since then.
Things have changed. Listen, to her point, because we can't talk about negative without positive. Things have changed drastically since then. But some of you are still going through it right now. So we're just trying to let you know that we've been there.
Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Maintain your integrity as much as humanly possible.
Hit us up on Instagram. I am Robert Ballard.
I am Jamila Ballard.
Hit us up on Facebook. Power Couple Movement. Ladies, if you're going through it, hit my wife up. Brothers, if you on the other side of it, hit me up. It's co-parenting. It's rough. You can't co-parent with an idiot. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say stuff like that.
So don't say idiot, honey.
Okay, I'll say something different.
Don't say
you can't co-parent with an idiot.
Honey.
Okay, shout out to all the people who think the exes are idiots. I don't think, listen, at this point in my life, this is my boo. I don't even, at some point you start growing, you start maturing.
I will just say this. I will just say this.
Go ahead, babe. She's going to say it nicely.
Because we got worse stories than this one,
of course
actually.
We do. Of course we do. That's what
I will say this. If you don't like being called an idiot, then the idiotic behavior needs to stop.
Right. Have I been an idiot before? Absolutely. Have I been an idiot that somebody had to co-parent with? Absolutely. So I ain't putting the blame on nobody. I'm just keeping it 100.
It's not easy, but guess what?
It's possible. You got to do it.
Prayer makes
prayer works.
Prayer works.
Prayer works. Don't put your hope in the court.
And it doesn't mean that the situation is just going to change because you prayed. Yeah. But you need to be mature enough to stop and think before you act, before you just say what you want to say, before you just do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You know, like to see the perfect example when they both pull up and they have just picked up my kids.
Babe, why you say that?
A mother?
To continue the story.
A mother?
You should have lost her mind. She should have lost her mind.
Looking at the woman that said, "You don't have to call her. Those are your children." A mother wants to do some serious damage to that face.
I believe it.
And the Holy Spirit said, "No, Jay, no." And so, you know.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
And she sat, and what's funny, she sat there with her camera and her phone, like, "That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get you." And you. And what was I doing, honey?
I was trying.
What was I doing?
You was calm. I was trying to stop the story, but you added.
I'm sorry. You took me back.
Okay, so
you took me. Okay, so now that we're wrapping up, be nice, babe.
Yeah. Anyway, so nice. Listen, co-parenting is challenging. I make a lot of jokes, I know, but on a serious note, you can only control what you do.
Just be an adult.
You can only control what you what you can only control what goes on in your own home. To either side, whether it's the man or woman, don't ever use the kids as pawns against the other person. I hope that's all we can hope.
Which is hard.
It's hard.
which can be hard.
There's a lot more we can say about this conversation.
There's a whole lot. We're gonna have to do another part.
We'll do another part at some time. But I hope this at least planted a seed.
Because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Of course it is. But anyway, I hope you guys. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our morning coffee. I am Robert Ballard.
Babe, what?
I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. I hope this topic helped you somewhat.
But we definitely have to do.
Yeah, we got to do
at least like 2 more parts.
At least 4 more. At least 4 more. 4 more.
I know, honey.
Okay, so
I see you.
Shout out to everybody. Thank you for tuning into our morning coffee with the Ballards. I'm Robert Ballard.
And I'm still Jamila Ballard.
And we are the Ballards. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Robert Ballard.
Come on, I'm getting tired. You say, honey.
You can follow her on Instagram at I am Jamila Ballard. Follow us on Facebook, The Power Couple Movements, The Ballards, Twitter, The Ballards. Everything else is The Ballards. Google us, The Ballards. If you like this video, please share it with somebody. Share it with somebody. Hopefully it'll help somebody. If you guys are having a relationship event and you want to book us, The Ballards, check out this link right here at the bottom of this video, relationshipgiants@gmail.com, and our people will call your people and we'll seal the deal. And we look forward to speaking with you again next week. As always, don't just live.